Some boy did me dirty.
All right, welcome back after a 1-week hiatus to another episode of In the Green Bets. Justin here with Grant.
Howdy.
Yeah, took last week off. Green was in California for a wedding, and the field ended up being kind of bad, but the tournament ended up being a lot of fun to watch, especially down the stretch there. JT Rory battled it out. Rory just finished him off with a couple birdies there down the stretch.
Yeah, it was kind of nice that we picked a week where the favorite won. You know,
I wasn't going to bet Rory, so
neither of us were even going to touch Rory. It makes sense that he won. It was kind of fitting, right, that he made those comments afterwards. It was kind of a big camaraderie day for all those, him and JT and those guys.
Yeah.
So good for him. But he was just hitting. I mean, it just turned into classic Rory, where he had opportunities to hit bombs and his wedges were on fire. So it's like you kind of have no chance when he has that opportunity. So it's what happened.
Yeah, when Rory does that, he pretty much wins every time. Now, JT was also on fire, so it was kind of like seeing both of them, not necessarily at their peak, but they were both fucking rolling. They were like 7 under through 12 and 8 under through 12 on Sunday. So
yeah, it was that rare time when the guys are just everybody at the top is just going crazy. So even JT was on fire, but he couldn't catch him. And then Rory gave him a little bit of a window, and then got back out of it.
JT just made 2 bogeys.
Yeah, so it was a fun visual though. Cool course to watch on TV. I'm sure that'll be a popular tournament with a pretty decent field going here in future years, and a nice little. I think it was good because it's kind of pushed Rory's number down and gave us some good numbers on some guys, in particular John Rahm, which I think that I'll probably talk about here in a few minutes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that course is on like a rota, so it's like every 7 years you're going to see that course, which kind of sucks. But super classic course. I mean, the guys raved about it. It was it got kind of shredded on Sunday, but
super shredded.
Sometimes that happens. But on to the U.S. Open. Although one and done, I had Cam Smith last week. I'm still kind of in the hunt. He shot 6 over in round 1, and I was like, fuck. I couldn't decide who to take. I was thinking about taking like Chris Kirk and a couple, because all of like the mid-tier guys I didn't have. Like I didn't have Connors or Fitzpatrick or Lowry. I didn't have any of those guys to take. So it was between Burns and Cam Smith, and I took Cam Smith. I should have took Burns, but he at least got me like $30,000. So 30th place still, right there in the hunt. But we'll see. This is a big week for that.
Yeah, I only bet 3 things, and that was the 2 margins and Brendan Todd. I put it out. I used Brendan Todd for my one done. He got me like $100,000 or something, I think.
Yeah, he was like top 20, I think.
Yeah, he played well. He just couldn't keep up there in the end when everybody started going crazy. But 2-stroke margin, came back and hit right.
Rory made that putt on the last hole.
I know. It was perfect. So I was actually positive for the week, which was crazy because I didn't even pay attention until the end, really. And I was out of state. But it was fun, and I've kind of gotten back in the swing of things, and we got some names and some numbers this week.
Yeah, so U.S. Open might be my favorite tournament. I mean, the Masters is the Masters. Non-Masters, it's definitely my favorite. Country Club at Brookline, super classic course. It's not par 70, not super duper long, but not sure it's a bomb and gouge like Wingfoot was, where you just try to hit it far up because the fairways are so tight it doesn't matter. Seems like from the interviews I've read and talking and reading some stuff that fairways are still a premium, and their course is wide enough to hit some fairways. So you're going to see guys laying back into certain spots. Ultimately, it's a second shot golf course. The greens are fucking tiny, and the rough around the greens is rough around the fairways and around the greens is disgusting. I heard Max Homa talking today, and he was just like, well, the rough around the greens is long and tough. If you're in the right spot, chipping, it's not super hard. Like if you get it on the wrong side, you're just like, you have no chance because the greens are so sloped. He's like, these are, they have Augusta style slope greens. So you're on the wrong side of the slope. There's nothing you can do. You're not going to stop it. So it'll be fun to see. It's going to super premium on the ball strikers, the guys who can play from the fairway, put the ball where they want. Nobody's probably going to hit 75% of greens this week just because they're so small. But it's going to put a premium on the guys who can hit a bunch of greens, and the best of those guys who can chip and putt it probably is going to win.
Yeah, it didn't seem like, obviously big hitters can still succeed. We've seen it in, almost every single U.S. Open, of recent. But it seemed like there's a lot of hazardous areas lining these fairways, a lot of like turns and hills and like little things where you don't really want to be if you miss the fairway, just based on the pictures that I saw of the hole. So, yeah, big hitters, and there's going to be a lot of big hitters on my card, but you still need to get it out there and get it straight. You don't want to be giving yourselves those opportunities for those bad breaks. You don't want to walk up to some ball and be like, holy shit, I'm taking 2 drops in a row, all this jazz. So I'm going to definitely play into some guys who are going to play in the fairway this week.
Yeah. Max mentioned that. He goes, I think guys could hit a bunch of drivers here, but he's like, you just hope to get good lies. But like, it's like Winged Foot, you could do it because you could run it up the front of the greens. But here, you can't do that. There's not run-ups at the front of these greens. They're small. They're perched. They got bunkers. They got rough in front. It's not a course where you just can chunk it out and run it up.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that's like I feel like there's just a lot of chance involved if you really start swinging at things like those, getting it up there.
Yeah, and it's flushers only for me with an emphasis on guys who can chip.
Yeah,
because I do think it's going to be similar to what my thoughts going into the PGA, where there was a premium on the guys who could get up and down from around those greens, but it's the exact opposite in terms of type of shots. Like there, it was the short mowed grass. You got to hit little nippy shots off the tight lies. Here, it's super long rough where you're just going to have to make sure you're below the hole and not chipping from behind the green. So I like, we can hop in outrights here, but there's a few guys that I don't know that they're good enough chippers. I think that the greens are small enough. You're going to miss too many.
Yeah, those bad misses in those sections or parts of that, around the green areas is going to be pretty key. So that's going to definitely play into some of this approach. It's like, not only do you want to hit, you almost want to you want to make sure your misses aren't like bad misses. Or
it's like, it's one of those things you just have to be like, and this is why Brooks wins majors, is he's like really, really patient. He's like, I don't need to hit a birdie. I don't need to make a birdie here. It's like, I will just hit it to the right spot in the green. And if I make the putt, great. If I hit it close, great. But he's like, I'm not going to go crazy and just fuck myself. I'm not going to make doubles. I'm not going to do stupid stuff. And that's how he won 4 majors. He was playing really well, but like, he was not putting himself in stupid spots. Mm-hmm. And I think I heard No Laying Up guys talking about it, and I was thinking about it today. Is like, Cam Smith is amazing. He could probably have one of the best rounds of the whole week, but it's obvious from his play style that he puts himself in really bad spots. Like, he makes doubles. He can't drive it that good. But it's like, it's different from like a Brooks or like DJ when he's rolling. It's just like, they just do the same easy, patient stuff over and over again. They're not going to kill themselves by trying to get too aggressive. They just know that, it's one of those things. You just got to kind of plod along.
Yeah, their commitment to like playing the long game is so like they can keep themselves in such a state of I'm just going to keep playing my game.
Yeah,
you will eventually either lose me from the get go, or you're going to come back to me eventually. And their ability to stay consistent that's where all those guys separate themselves. So a guy like Xander, right, who's had a lot of U.S. Open success, who I think you might have on your card already this week. Sometimes, he has safe tournaments just like that all the time. Sometimes it kills him because he can't keep up. Other times it keeps him in the hunt and play on bad courses. But he's a good guy.
All right. So Rory and JT, obviously, I think they can both win. They're obviously both like rolling. I mean, like JT had a chance at Charles Schwab. He had a chance here this week. Or not at Charles Schwab. He missed the cut at Charles Schwab. He was one PGA, was close last week. It's like, and Rory obviously is coming off a win. They're both absolutely rolling, but I'm not touching them at those numbers. Rory makes me a little nervous because I don't know that he doesn't necessarily, he's not like a patient player in that sense. Like, he doesn't, like, his like dink and dunk and do the thing. That's not when he wins. When he wins, it's because he's got the horses in the back and he's just fucking getting after it. And that's not, I would trust JT a little bit more in that style of golf, but neither of them are priced in a place where I'm betting them.
No, yeah, I think that I have such a hard time catching this JT run. I mean, I don't know. It just, I just struggle with him and how he's going to react. But it seems like he's obviously, definitely, and he's always in form. He literally always finishes so high. But just not for me this week. I actually am going to bet the next guy on the board, John Rahm, is my first bet. But I got him at 14 over at Bet Rivers. I really like that number, and I thank Rory McIlroy because I think he's had a little bit to do with that getting pushed back to 14. John Rahm's success in U.S. Opens has been unbelievable. He's a past winner. When he's ball striking last 36, he's number one. I did a little like Fantasy National U.S. Open like mix model where I did long rough. Fast greens, long rough, and difficult scoring. And John Rahm was like number one by far. Like it was just, he just kind of fits the model. And I like that number over those other guys because I think he can just overpower things. He seems like he's pretty, he's been pretty vocal. We saw his press conference today about the live stuff and how he wants to compete and kind of create a legacy for himself. So I like his chances just as much as those top two guys. And the 14 is better than both of those numbers.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet him. He's probably going to be my one and done. It's close. His form is just his ball striking form is there, and he finally found the putter. But his form compared to those top two guys, it's not like night and day. Mm-hmm. But 10th at Memorial, finally chipped and putted good in Mexico, which you can kind of throw out the fucking window, to be honest. But the dude gains like off the tee like no one else. I do think that will be somewhat of an advantage for him to, hit driver, knowing he's going to hit some fairways. The chipping makes me nervous, obviously. He's chipped pretty damn bad this year, which is weird because in the past he's been a good chipper. But his floor is just so damn high. Especially when it gets super hard like this, I just kind of trust that he's going to find a way to get in the top 15. I'm not going to bet him at 14. That's still a little low for me on a guy who's not been playing great, but it's between him and Scotty for my one and done this week. Scotty's fucking rolling also. He had like his worst finish of the last months with a 30th place finish last week. Not going to bet him at 14 either, although I kind of think he should be the favorite just purely based on pure form. That dude is unstoppable. Obviously Rory and JT are playing great, but if you look at
entertaining to watch, this is not people who would watch us would be obviously the more educated, but it's crazy how fast these things change, right? Scotty Scheffler was taking over the world. All of a sudden JT wins a major, Rory wins an event, and he's now seen as the third or fourth guy. It's like, well, we can't forget about these guys, that just had unbelievable months.
He just won 4 times, right? And then got lost at a playoff.
Right. And people that follow obviously don't forget about it, but it's just funny how these things kind of come and go because these guys are so good. And just because you finish in the top 20 a couple times or you miss a cut or then you get a top 10, it's like these guys are unfazed. When it comes to this stuff, they're going to be so prepared. If they're in form, it's going to be completely fine. Scotty Scheffler, I almost put him in that John Rahm category also. I'm just saying these guys could all be priced the exact same number, and I wouldn't necessarily have a pick of I wouldn't have a guy being like, oh, he's the favorite out of that group. So
to me,
I agree with you there.
To me, those 4 are kind of in a class of their own this week. Now, not necessarily just purely, but this week, Rory and JT are always in the top, and Rahm are obviously always in the top tier, Scheffler, but they're all playing pretty damn good at a course that is going to demand you do everything. So I kind of feel weird not betting any of them, but they're just priced so low that I'm just going to go down the board a little farther and take some shots. You mentioned it. Xander is going to be my first outright. I know I've lost countless dollars on Xander outright. So it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Xander outrights at this point. It's so stupid. But his U.S. Open track record speaks for itself.
Oh,
it's 4 straight top 7s or 5 straight top 7s, whatever it is. And it's obvious. It's not oh, I can't believe he did that. It's well, yeah, he drives it great. He hits his irons awesome, chips and putts good. He doesn't have a weakness. So that's why the U.S. Open sets up so well for him. He's not going to kill him. Like, he's not going to get screwed by any one thing. And over like 4 rounds, like that adds up. I don't know if it's going to add up enough to win, but he's coming in a little under the radar. Now he's priced low, but like nobody is really talking about him to win, in the betting circles. Oh, well, I shouldn't say that because I saw him on a bunch of cards, but like I'm not seeing a bunch of like media coverage of him.
Right.
So I just think that he's due. Now he's been due for fucking forever, but he is like really, really, really good. His form is fine. I'm happy with how he's been playing. I know he's probably going to lose, but that's just kind of it. 3 straight top 20s, gaining like crazy on approach. There's not a lot to say. His U.S. Open record is 7th, 5th, 3rd, 6th, 5th. Like, I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going to bet him top 10. I'll just say it now. But you saying that he's due is, I mean, come on, due. Like, he's been due every single event. Yeah. Like, I don't. It's so hard. It's
tough.
It's so hard. But if you get his first big win, you're going to be so happy. And in meantime, I will be sitting back and not losing money on Xander. I
think I have him at 22. I'm pretty sure that's the number I got, which I think it's fair for a guy who's been around the hoop that many times at this event. Obviously, he doesn't win, but I'm willing to take a stab at 22. I'm skipping Cantlay, and I already talked about skipping Cam Smith. Anything you need to add on those 2 guys?
No, I went to the top, and so my next guy isn't back until 28. So
okay.
On to the next group.
I'm skipping Burns. I know he's been playing good, but his driver makes me nervous. He can get real funny with the driver. Plus, I don't know that he has – his major record, 1, is not very good. And 2, I don't know that he has like the 4 straight good rounds on a super hard golf course. Like, he just sprays it a little too much and is just a little too inconsistent still. So
So in my model, Burns was so high, but yet he was still 99th in fairways gained in the last 24 rounds. It's crazy how much it's honestly impressive how much success he can have without like being that accurate off the tee.
But his good rounds are so damn good is the thing. Like,
so
he putts good, which makes me a bit nervous about this.
Yeah, that just scared me. It kind of gave me this idea that he's going to make too many bogeys, and I'm not.
Yeah. That's my thought. Is like if he's going to miss a bunch of fairways, it's really hard to make enough pars and birdies if you're going to miss that many fairways. DJ is a total skip for me. He's not been playing good. He kind of, I heard him talking after one of the live rounds, like, I'm driving it good, but not great. I need to drive it better. It's like, well, if DJ's driving like shit, that's probably a wrap.
Did you see the leaderboard for that event?
I watched it. I watched some of it. I mean, look, that's all who was in the event. What did you expect the leaderboard to look like?
Scores were horrible, though.
Well, the course, I think, was like, I'm not going to call it tough, but I don't think it was easy. But if you look at the field, the field was terrible.
All the guys there were so many guys over par. It was crazy.
Well, you got to think 20 of those guys suck.
Yeah.
20 of those guys like actually suck.
I hope Ogletree freaking, washed his money into some Bitcoin or something.
I was gonna say, I hope he invested it and then spent it because I think that's his last check.
Yeah, that was not a good showing. But moving on, Jordan Spieth's my next outright, 28-1. I really like this number. Spieth,
love it.
I've mentioned him 100 times in the past month or so. I think huge wins are coming for him. If not this week, then soon. Coming down the stretch here at the end of the season, his putter is not great, but it's had some life here as of recent.
And I've seen it before. Like, right. I know he's not putting good now, but it's in there. And you put him on really hard, slopey greens, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he gained 5 on the greens at Memorial. He was just about even right before that at Charles Schwab. His off the tee numbers have been great, which has been awesome. His driver's been working. His irons have been. I mean, I think he lost strokes at the Memorial, yes, but before that he hasn't lost since
on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't lost since January 30th. So he just. This number, I think, is disrespectful to Jordan Spieth, especially with the guy who has the major track record that he does, and I'm going to add him with Jon Rahm.
Yep, he was my next one. He honestly was. He might be my favorite bet, just purely based on the number and in his current form.
You want to talk about around the greens? Come on,
It's
dude.
Jordan fucking Spieth. He's got magic like oozing out of his body, and his irons and driver have been great. Like, if he putts like he did at Memorial with how he's been playing tee to green, like he will win.
Right.
Like that's the recipe, definitely. And then Morikawa, you give me Morikawa at 30 or higher in a major, I'll bet him until he's 40. Like, I don't care. I know he hasn't been playing that good, but on a course where being in the fairway and hitting a shitload of greens is advantageous. Like that's Morikawa's like.
Yeah, this number doesn't make sense because it's not a bomb and gouge. It's like what?
His form sucks.
Yeah, but a 30? If you're
He's
not
116th around the green, which is scary as hell, but he doesn't have a single top 25 since April.
If you're not betting this, I don't know what you're doing. Like what?
This right here is the part that it's like I kind of don't care where he finished. As long as this is here,
yeah,
I don't care about the rest of it because I know I've seen him do it. So 30, easy bet, auto bet.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to get into this. He hits in the.
I call all the books and tell him for every major from here on out, 30 plus to one more cow, you can write me down.
Yeah,
because I just don't.
He fits the bill, and he already. I mean, he's got 2 major wins. Come on, dude. I mean, yeah. Next one.
And then I'm also going to go hop on Sal Torres. I know everyone's betting him, and it's probably not going to work, but his major record is kind of like Xander's, where it's just like kind of speaks for itself. Golf course gets hard. Sal Torres' game is kind of built for that. It's just simple to me. Hits it really far and pretty straight. Plays super duper smart. Is really patient. Knows what he's doing on the golf course. Knows what he wants. Has a plan. And obviously he's the best, if not maybe the second best iron player in the world. Maybe JT took that crown when he beat him in the playoff, but he was kind of on the first. I just knew as soon as the odds came up, like I'm just going to bet him, knowing that he's got the kind of pedigree now.
Yeah, he's given us so many examples of when pressure's high and in difficult scoring, he can continue to hit really, really good shots. And I really like that. I think that if he keeps flirting with it, obviously he might just fall into a win, which would be great because if you have to rely on him to make like some big time clutch putts here at the end, you might be screwed. But I agree. You kind of have him and Xander both on the card is kind of just like, well, I want somebody in the mix, right? So now, that might give it to you.
I got my second place covered.
Yeah, I'm actually going down to 35. Do you have anybody else in there?
No, Fitzpatrick. After watching him like closely at the PGA, he's not winning the fucking major. He could probably finish like 10th, but I'm not betting him outright. I thought about Tony just because he's like hitting the piss out of the ball right now, but not. I just don't have the confidence Tony Finau is going to win a major.
I really like
it. And then
I don't think 35 is like I need to.
Yeah, if he would have been at like 50, then I probably would have been interested. Vic can't chip good enough for here, but I'm not betting any of those guys. I'm not betting anybody until 50s.
So I have Daniel Berger. Actually, I have a 40 on him. I think that's at Rivers. Berger got top 10 or top 5 at the Memorial, top 25 at Charles Schwab. His best surface is POA by far. And I just think his game sets up well here. He kind of his form isn't like amazing, but it's not too bad. What's the number there? Oh my God. We're going to have to adjust that then. Although I think I already placed that, so I might have to double down.
I like Berger. I actually have a couple matchups, at least one matchup that I like with him.
His all around, he just got a lot of all around game. He keeps it in the fairway pretty well. His driver's distance isn't great, but if he's going to putt well on POA and he's going to keep himself in play, I think he'll just give himself an opportunities. And obviously Berger is not like some super elite, but he's good enough to win a tournament like this if he plays really well. And I think that he's got that opportunity. So I don't mind I already bet the 40. I need to go back and look. I'm fairly certain I did. But I might even add a couple little 50s in there just to spice up my average.
Yeah. I like Berger for sure. I'm not going to bet him, but he's one of the players I definitely am looking at for some other stuff. Lowry, he's been playing amazing. If I can get the right matchup with him, I'll probably bet it, but I'm not betting him outright. Neiman's too inconsistent. Decky's got an injury that who the hell knows. Louis just finished like 30th on the Live Tour.
So Louis is like a U.S. Open specialist, but what do we think about him just being in terrible form?
If he shows up, good for Louis. Otherwise, he hasn't played.
Yeah,
right? Like he hasn't played golf.
He hasn't played since PGA station event since the PGA, and he got 60th. He hasn't had a top.
Yeah, but like he didn't play before that either, right? Like before
he got top 20 at Phoenix. That's kind of like the only thing he's pretty good at.
Yeah, he hasn't played. I'm out on him. He couldn't even fucking do good at Live. And then Sungjae. I bet Sungjae last week at 66. I wish I could remember who wrote the article, but it was an excellent article on like, here's all the things that matter. I'm going to rank the players in this, and I'm going to add up all the points. And Sungjae was like the obvious choice. He just fits the age, fits like the trends of who usually wins this. And he's playing super, super good. And we know that he's another guy who's really patient and hits a shitload of greens and can putt good. He kind of has it all. 4 straight top 21s, gaining in basically every category but putting. So that was an easy bet. I know he's down a lot now, but I bet him at 66. So
yeah, that's a good number. I actually didn't get that number, and I put him immediately into my top placings category because I wasn't gonna bet him there. I was just gonna move him over to that category. I think that's pretty appropriate now, especially if you can find a nice matchup with him.
Definitely.
He's a guy that you could maybe get some plus money or even money on against a pretty decent player, and I think you'd have a good chance of winning.
Brooks, obviously that number is enticing, but I kind of until he like finishes a golf tournament reasonably high, I'm just not going to waste my money. It wouldn't surprise me if he played good, but he just doesn't have the form. He's been fucking off getting married, so good there. Mito, we saw the choke fest at PGA. I don't need to see it again.
Mito's going to take more money. It's going to be funny just because of that, but it won't be from me. Homa is a placings guy, so I think we'll talk about him.
I'm not going to bet him outright. I think you like Cam Young.
Cam Young is my last outright that I've already bet. I might add another guy here soon, but Cam Young at 50. I think on that FanDuel site you just picked up, he was at 41. So we've got a little bit of shopping to do.
So, yeah. 40 and 41.
If you are liking Cam Young. Cameron Young is a good around the green player, strangely. It's
bunkers. He sucks in bunkers.
No, it's just I don't know. He's got the things there. He's made it. He went third, second, third, but then he made the cut, but didn't finish very well at the Memorial. We remember that. We bet him, and he just puked all over himself.
He shot like 700 on Sunday.
Yeah, he shot like a billion.
Yeah.
So
I think he shot like 85 on Sunday.
I'm throwing that out because that's not him, obviously.
He's had some time off now too.
But he made the cut, which is fine, and he hits.
He was in first, right?
He was in first in day one. He was in first on Thursday.
I think he was in first like going into Saturday.
He would have been close. I think he was passed up, but maybe not. Either way, it doesn't matter.
He was definitely in the top 5 because he went.
He's top 5 in my driving distance category and still top 45 in fairways. So he's like fairly decent at keeping in the fairway for how far he hits it. His around the green game is really, really good. We've seen his irons kind of come up, kind of go up and down. But a number like this, you're kind of just hoping for that spike, right? You're kind of hoping that the form kind of carries him into it. Obviously, the last week's approach numbers the Memorial approach numbers aren't great, but that's fine.
He lost like 10 on Sunday.
Yeah, that was kind of throw that out. That was kind of a one-day thing. You hope that he can just get hot enough to put himself in good positions. If he starts putting himself in bad positions, then we're screwed. But I just like the number, and I like his ability to kind of surprise people. And we've already seen it in a couple events. So I don't hate the number, and his ability, I think, is something that could fit at this course. If he can just really, really, really get it going with that driver in the fairway.
Yep. I'm not going to bet him outright, but I definitely like him for replacements and matchups. I have one more. Billy. I know his major record isn't great, but when Billy gets rolling, he like really gets rolling. So I'll try to ride the Billy hot streak coming off the win at Memorial. he chips and putts awesome. I think it's going to be important this week. If he hits his irons like he's been kind of hitting his irons, he's dangerous. Now, I think 55 is fair. I'm not sure he's like for sure going to win, but as good as he's playing, he's proven in the past that like he can ride it for a few weeks. So he's going to be my last one, kind of round out the card. And honestly, we're getting to the point where I don't think any of these guys can win.
No, the only one I kind of looked at was Munoz, and I think he's pretty far down there.
He's not winning the U.S. Open.
No, probably not. But his form is actually really, really good. And he's a ball striker that could keep up here. He might be like a first-round leader or like a guy you could find in like a matchup and hope that the other guy misses the cut or something. The problem is if you get a guy that makes the cut with him, you might be screwed because he's going to go ejecto on Saturday or something. So you have to be ready for that. Keegan Bradley, I've seen picked up some traction just based on his ability. Strike, we've all seen that embedded before, and it's just not very good.
He's a Boston guy too.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys down here, unfortunately, do not have much of a chance.
Yeah. We've already spent a lot of time.
You weren't supposed to pull that up.
Yeah, sorry. Let's touch on some derivatives. I'm going to bet top 10s again in majors. Xander plus 190. I don't know if that's the best number out there, but I'm definitely betting that. And then I'll probably bet a Spieth or Sal Torres. Maybe Sal Torres plus 330.
I think the best one is Finau 330.
That's a good one too. Although Sal Torres, those are close for me. Maybe I'll skip Xander and just hate myself when he finishes third. Finau 240.
Xander will be in like 21st, and then he'll end up finishing like 6th.
That's kind of what he does.
Yeah.
Plus 175 there for Xander. 275 there. 335 for Tony. I like that.
I would say you need to stick to these top guys for these top 10s.
Yeah, don't go down way down the board. Yeah. 20s. I still think that this Sal Torres, like through Berger Group, is bettable at those numbers.
Yeah.
140, I think I saw on Sal Torres somewhere. I like Finau at 140.
Yeah. I like all of those. That Sungjae, Finau, Zalatoris group.
Sungjae's 175 at one of the book at Rivers, I think. Sungjae's 175, which is a super good number.
Right.
I have Pereira. I had Pereira at 2-1. I really like that. He's playing like so good, and he's more of a placement guy for me. Cam Young, your guy. Homa, Horschel. I like Aaron Wise has been playing super good.
I got a question.
I'm not betting on Aaron Wise, but
what about Corey Connors coming off last week?
I'm going to show you why I'm not big on Corey Connors.
Keeps it in the fairway, ball striker.
What's his U.S. Open track record, do you think? He's playing obviously super good.
I'm not thinking about betting him.
What about now?
The around the green game is probably bad, though. Oh, my.
I don't. I like it, but it's around the green game.
One of those U.S. Opens was played like in a weird month, right? Because of COVID.
Yeah, it was played at Wingfoot in September.
Oh, yeah.
Bryson won.
Now I'm
probably not on Corey Connors. I like Fleetwood. Fleetwood's been playing good, and he's got a super good short game.
What about the Sunday 60 reaction to Justin Rose?
What a pussy.
That was crazy.
He made 2 bogeys in his last 3 holes to shoot 59. What are you doing?
I know.
He got kind of screwed. Although he got screwed, but he didn't. Like that first cut that was off the fairway. Did you see a shot on 18?
Yeah, I was watching.
Everybody was catching jumpers out of those, and he played from there. And what did he do? He caught a fucking jumper and flew it into the grandstands. It was like, all right, dude, you've been playing this course for 4 days. You got to know that's going to jump.
That was where he got relief from
right, but he still made bogey, like
right, because he just had to drop. Yeah.
And getting it close to that flag from back there was going to be impossible. So
I think a Tyrrell Hatton 250 is not bad if we want to go down to hit. No, you don't like him?
He's been bitching every week about the course.
Mistakes.
He's going to bitch 1,000,000 times this week. He's Ejecto City.
Well, how are we going to get to like who's a farther down 20 we could add?
Davis Riley, been playing amazing golf, kind of bringing it in every category. Varner, I don't mind. He's I'm probably not going to bet him, but his numbers would suggest that you should. P 3-1, chip and putt. His game's kind of coming around.
So
Webb plus 330.
I did around the green with difficult scoring, and Siwoo Kim was on the list, and fairways.
Siwoo is on my.
Siwoo was also on the list, so I think Siwoo could
A lot of
be
fairways too.
Yeah, he could be a guy that we could get some better numbers on if we want to add someone down the board.
So Webb is on my list at plus like 3 whatever. I like this. Tee to green game's been good. A couple of nice finishes here, and he putts it well. And he's a guy who he won't make a ton of mistakes. So, I'm okay with Webb at that number. Siwoo plus 350. I don't mind. Obviously. And then we're getting into this field is good, but it also drops off because then you get a bunch of guys who randomly qualified.
Yeah, it's not like the PGA.
Then you get a bunch of shitty players here.
I don't know if we should mess with this group.
Nope, I'm good on all these.
Especially when I really buy into the fairway game, you play Brent Stewart.
No, those guys they're going to have too long of irons then to hold these greens.
Stewart hits fairways and he was on my POA list, but that's just I'm not betting him.
I'm not going to call these greens true POA. They're a POA mix, and they're not going to play like West Coast POA.
Right.
I don't mind seeing guys.
It's actually the exact opposite in Boston. It's how much different could you be? Let's get into some matchups.
Yeah. So the first matchup that I saw on DraftKings here that I liked was Berger plus 105 over DJ. DJ's form's not good. Berger's been playing well.
Actually, too.
I like the plus money there for sure.
I like the DJ distraction week where he's just I'm in complete fuck it mode right now. But we'll see how he reacts. Maybe he gets a little fire in his belly, but he doesn't seem. There's nothing that shows us that he's going to actually do that.
What about Homa over Neiman? Neiman is just a little too volatile for me. I can't ever get him right. He will be right in the hunt and then shoot 75.
I think we should more so be looking at Morikawa plus money over Fitzpatrick.
I'm worried. Fitzpatrick's form is way better.
Yeah, but does Fitzpatrick have good?
If we're talking who would I rather bet outright, it's no brainer. But in a matchup, I'm a little worried. Fitzpatrick's been fucking great. He's top 5th in my model.
What did he finish at PGA? Oh, he finished 5th.
5th.
Yeah. And he finished top 20 at the Masters, so maybe disregard that.
He's on a run of 2nd, 5th. He missed the Cut Memorial, but he gained 6.5 strokes tee to green, and then 10th at RBC. So he scares me in a matchup. Obviously, I'd like to have Morikawa on my side of matchups.
Damn, he's actually major records really good. Fitzpatrick's a sneaky good major.
Well, because he's another guy who's he can't overpower it, so he knows he just got to keep fucking down the middle on the greens, not doing anything crazy.
Right. Sungjae over Lowry is interesting. I like Lowry.
Lowry's been playing so damn good. It's scary. That's another one. It's I like Sungjae more than I like Lowry, but Lowry's form is super.
I think I'm going to bet Shane Lowry for the Open. We'll see how.
Yeah, if I can get a good number.
Right, we'll see how he plays.
That term is super weather dependent. If the wind doesn't blow, give me all the guys who bomb the fuck out of it. Give me Rahm, give me Rory.
Yeah.
Because the course is easy if the wind does not blow. Down here
JT Rory straight up.
I'd take JT at this golf course, I think.
Man, I don't know who I would take. I'm not adding that.
No, I'm not touching that either. None of these other ones are really striking me as something that I need to bet, unfortunately. I'll have to dig in a little farther, but
some of these have been juiced down, unfortunately.
Where are the matchups? You can get JT plus 105 against Rory on reverse.
Oh, yeah, take that instead.
Sal Torres over Cantlay? Minus 103.
Is Cantlay favored?
Yeah. minus
I don't
125.
hate that. Cantley doesn't ever knock my socks off in majors either.
No, he does not. Burns against Neiman, even. Burns is better than Neiman, right? Like quite a bit better.
Yeah. I mean, Burns has, 4 wins? 5 wins?
Yeah, but his major record's not very good either. Neiman third at Memorial, and then a bunch of top 25.
He played good last week, too. I almost used him for my one and done, but I didn't do it.
Burns?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was between him and Cam Smith, and I chose the wrong guy. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes.
Davis really.
Him.
Who?
Sungjae over Decky.
What's that number?
Sungjae's the dog, minus 110.
I don't hate that. Although Decky is his, I'm pretty sure
If
his
Decky ball strikes like his ass off, then you're in trouble. But
I think his U.S. Open finishes are super good too.
They are good. They're definitely good.
You just gotta hope to God we're reading Japan or some whatever article that he's injured.
Yeah.
But we've been cashing money on him. Davis or Riley, I know we both mentioned him, plus 105 against a minus 137 Keegan. I know I said something about Keegan right a bit, but Keegan will absolutely throw himself to the end of the leaderboard on Saturday or Sunday. So if you can just get Davis Riley,
I don't mind that.
If you can just get him through the cut, you'll have a chance.
Yeah, I kind of don't mind that. Okay, before I ask you this matchup, do you have Brooks' thoughts?
I just think I don't want to bet him because there's just nothing to show me that he would. But
would you bet against him in a matchup?
No, hell no. I honestly think that there's part of me that thinks that he's gonna, like, we're all gonna look back at one of these tournaments and be like, we all missed a Brooks 45 or 50. Like,
it's possible, but
with who though? I mean, it's got to be with somebody good.
Tommy Fleetwood?
No.
Fleetwood has probably beat Brooks Koepka basically every tournament they've played this season.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does he have 2 US Opens or 1? Brooks has 2, right?
2. Yeah, he won back to back. He got second the third year to Gary. Rose over Hatton, kind of like that. Rose played good last week.
The whole difficult course thing is Brooks just lives for that shit. So
but he shot like $1 million at the Masters and at the PGA this year.
We'll see. I don't like betting against him though. That's for
Rose over Hatton. Just bet on the crazy Hatton volatility. Rose has been good in U.S. Opens.
Abraham Lancer and Webb. So we didn't really talk about Abe earlier. He's a fairway guy, although he burns both of us whenever we bet him.
We can't get him right. So,
but it doesn't make sense if he just kind of plays it safe, or is he not good enough? Is he not good enough iron player?
He's lost strokes on approach 3 of his last 4.
Yeah, so maybe you take Webb in that.
He's lost strokes around the green in 4 of his last 5.
I kind of like that matchup. Then it's Webb and him even. They're both minus 114.
Abe has 1 top 10 since last November. He has 1 top 20 since last November. 1 top 30.
What did he finish at PGA?
9th. That was the only one.
Oh, fuck. But he doesn't seem like a guy who can really keep up in this type. But if he just plays it safe, I guess he's got a chance.
Yeah, but 1 top 30 that's like 12 starts.
Right.
So
I like Webb.
Webb's form is. I just kind of know what I'm getting with Webb, for the most part. I'm not really scared that he's going to absolutely bone me on Thursday.
Yeah, I kind of like that minus 114 Webb over Abe. Maybe I'll bet against him and just hope that it's every time because I can't bet with him. It just never works.
Yeah, I don't see much else there that I'm in love with. I'm going to pop over here and see if they got anything on FanDuel that I like. Whoa. I know I said I don't like Vic, but they have him as an underdog to Neiman.
Ooh,
Should Vic ever be an underdog to Neiman ever in his whole life?
No, unless he's in terrible, terrible, terrible form.
He lost 6 around the greens at the Memorial.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a top 20 since the player.
Remember when I made that big case about him like being able to power through the chipping because he'll just hit every green? Well, it just didn't work, and his chipping was horrible, and he couldn't, and he still didn't finish very well.
He gained 0.4 around the greens in the PGA. 0.4.
Yeah,
he got 41st. He doesn't have a top 20 since players, so I'm probably gonna stay away. But just remember when I said Vic should never be an underdog to Neiman when he whoops his ass. So.
Victor will be on my open card also.
That is very much a Victor course, just like hit nukes and hit a bunch of greens and try to putt decent. He's been putting okay. Spieth is plus 112 over Cantlay.
Oh, I like that. That's
I like that.
Yeah. Plus 112. I'm gonna write that
down. It's a nice one.
I like the Spieth win this week. I'm telling you,
he's like one of them. I saw that number. I was like, wow, that's juicy.
Him or Lowry? I don't really know if I'm going to bet Lowry, but it feels like Lowry could win this. Like it kind of makes sense if Lowry wins this.
It seems like the course is made. It's gonna be really hard. I do think the winning score is gonna be like 8 or 9 under. Like Max was like, if you're in the fairway, it's kind of not that difficult, but it's like you're gonna be punished when you miss. Like
right.
Like par is a great score when you miss the fairway, but if you're in the fairway, you can make some birdies because the green.
Right, and we'll see kind of how the weekend weather plays out too.
It's supposed to be just super sunny and windy. Not windy, but like 10 to 20.
Well, maybe some like Friday early guys might have a little bit of an advantage. We should maybe look into that.
Let's see here.
So this is where I'm having a hard time, and maybe this is just where I need to just don't think as much. How am I going to bet these margins? Because this tournament produces some wonky scores.
And I do think that this, and Max said this on the pod. He was like, he goes, well, I don't think this winning. He said, well, I think the score is going to be not like super low. He's like, this is a separator, not a separator tournament, not like a just a bloodbath. It's not like where everybody's just fucked. It's like, no, we're going to separate out who's really good. And if somebody he said, if somebody gets on fire, then they could potentially run away. Like if JT just goes out and is just on fire, he could definitely run away. But I think there's enough good players that maybe somebody could stay kind of close. But Max said it. He straight up was like, it's easy enough where if you get hot, you could maybe shoot 12 and nobody else could be better than 6.
Well,
so it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick with 1-2 because I know the majority of tournaments finish that way. It's just like a easy thing. So, but I wouldn't surprise me. It's a type of course where you might shoot 7 under and just get beat by 5 because somebody that's amazing at golf just got fucking smoking on. Scheffler could go out and just beat the doors off everybody and be like, well, that happens.
Rahm won at 6. Who got second to him? What was that? I can't remember what that was.
Well, Louis.
But he was at 5, right?
I think so.
So even then, but then you had the Bryson win, which was a little bit weird because of the whole
course was super hard.
Right, but I'm saying he kind of approached it in obviously such a different way. And we don't really have
that course set up perfectly for him to do that.
Right, but I'm saying we don't really have that situation this year. There's not kind of one guy where it's he's going to be able to absolute dominate bombs. Or
no, it's more just
whether that's
one of the elite guys just absolutely find it. That was what Max was saying. He's like, the golf course is really hard, but if one of the amazing guys gets hot, it's not going to be that hard. Like Oakmont, when Brooks won, you weren't shooting under par. No one was shooting under par. It was a bloodbath for everybody. Nobody was going to separate because it was impossible. Like this, he was kind of saying I don't know, somebody might be able to shoot 5 under. So that's interesting.
I could be talked into going 2-3, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's worth a thought at least.
3 strokes exactly is 6-1, so that would be unbelievable.
That would be fantastic.
The issue is if it separates from 2, that means it's usually going to be 4 or more. So it's you're going to miss that. Yeah, but whatever. Well, I got to do some more thinking.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see any more matchups that I was in love with. One and done.
Okay, so
I've kind of mapped mine out to. I have like there's 10 tournaments left, right? This one and
yes,
9 more.
yes, 10
I have like 10 good players left.
I have Scheffler left.
Same.
I have Xander Schauffele left, which I think is going to be my pick this week.
Kind of think this is maybe like a good time. So, yeah. So I have the top guys I have left is Rahm, Scheffler, Spieth, Sal Torres, Burns, and then I have Morikawa and Victor also, but they're not really in the hunt. They're not playing good enough. So
I have Brooks left, but I just can't stomach myself to do it.
I used Brooks at the Masters. He missed the cut. So it's between Rahm and Scheffler for me, although I did consider Sal Torres. I trust the other two more than I trust Sal Torres. My thought, honestly, the reason I'm picking Rahm over Scheffler is Rahm is 29% available and Scheffler is 43%. So in theory, less people are going to have Rahm than Scheffler. So if Rahm wins, it's a bigger advantage.
I like it. I mean, he's my outright at 4. I haven't bet Rahm in year. I mean, not year. I haven't bet him.
I've been saving him all year for the U.S. Open. Why switch now? His chipping and putting is finally coming around at the last couple events. So, and I like the narrative of like he gave that such an eloquent speech today. It's like that's the dude that the PGA's like praying to God wins and then fucking shits all over Liv when it gets done.
Can Scotty Scheffler win 2 majors this year?
Yeah, because I might use him at the Open. I hope so. That's my one concern is like, should I just take Scheffler here and I know Rahm is going to probably dominate the Open. Like he should be awesome at the Open and he might be in a bit better form. But I don't know. I Spieth is probably the one I'm going to play at the Open. Would be my guess.
Okay. So
that's kind of my plan is Rahm here, Spieth there, and then I have Morikawa for one of the playoff events potentially. Hopefully he's playing better by then, and Scheffler. And then I can fill in with the Burns, Sal Torres, Vic. I still have Berger. I still have Cam Young. I still have Horschel. I'm really hoping Cam Young shows up to Rocket Mortgage and just hits fucking nukes, and I can just play him there.
That'd be nice. I have a similar situation. The only problem with playing Xander is I have to win the event. In order for me to compete, I have to win an event. So,
although the person who is in 5th place has 0 wins, which is unbelievable. He has 8 top 5s.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Imagine he lost in a playoff twice. I was looking at his stuff in 2 weeks in a row. He had Scheffler when he lost in the playoff, and then he had Sal Torres losing the playoff at PGA. He lost both times.
I think I'm going to go Xander because then I can save these guys like Morikawa, Victor, Scheffler, Cam Smith for some of these ending events in hopes that Xander can compete with the top 5. And then just maybe if he just gets absolutely bonkers lucky, he can compete for a win. But you're more of a Xander guy than I am, so I'll leave that to you to cheer him on.
I love Xander. He's unbelievable at golf. He just hasn't figured out a way to get it done sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Rahm. And then I honestly think, so let's look here at the little summary. Try to find the tournaments there. Because there's a couple tournaments where some guys aren't probably going to show up, which makes things a bit difficult. So
it's be a problem. So we're not using DJ at all the whole year, right?
I already used him at Genesis.
So the only place I could use him is maybe the Open.
Yeah, and you're not. He hasn't been playing good. He missed the cut when I picked him. So we got Travelers next week. I don't know who the hell is going to show up, but I think Abe is potentially an option. He has like 3 top 15s in his career there. I was trying to like scout it all out, but then I gave up because I don't know who's going to show up at John Deere. So the Scottish Open is one of them. That I honestly think might be when I use Sal Torres. Like if he goes and plays Scottish, do what?
He's already said that he's playing that.
I think so. There's a bunch of guys committed to play that. So, or it might be I might take Horschel. He's had success in Europe. He won the BMW PGA. If he is there, that's a guy I might take. But then we got the Open, obviously, which I just said probably Spieth for me. and then 3M, Rocket Mortgage, and Wyndham. I'm going to end up with like 2 or 3 guys there that at the last 2 events where it's like, fuck, I didn't use one of these guys this year. Like, why did I do that? But it's also nice to have a couple of options, I guess, for the last couple of events.
Yeah, that'd be bad. I mean, this is a big money event, so this would be, it's going to be. You need to get, if you can get this win, you'd be damn up.
The two Open, the U.S. Open and British Open are going to probably damn near decide it unless somebody hits multiple winners coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I'm going to use Xander. I'm locking him in right now.
I am $4 million out of first, but I am $2 million out of third. First 2 guys have separated a bit.
And you're using John. Okay, so we're both kind of invested in Rom this week. I like that.
And Xander.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right. Well, F1 this week. They're going to Montreal, but I don't know if it's this week or if it's next week.
It is this week because supposedly Lewis Hamilton might not have raced because he's so messed up from the bumps in the Mercedes.
Lost a lot of respect for you this year, Lewis. George Russell's taking your ass to the fucking woodshed every single week. Has he beat Russell once? I don't think so.
No, he hasn't finished in the top 5 besides when Russell got 3rd.
What a bitch.
Ferrari just continues to shoot themselves in the foot.
I said take Red Bull Constructors 175. Or no, I said Max. It was Max. I said take Max 175. You said take Max.
I said Constructors would run away, which at times is starting to look like, especially with Sergio, like could compete.
Sergio's like in the hunt.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that won't happen because Max Verstappen Sr. would go absolutely apeshit.
Jost.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Isn't that his name? Jost?
Yeah, something weird like that.
Jost?
But yeah, we're kind of hitting that point where we haven't had the chaotic race yet. So I would be maybe on the lookout for that. That's probably coming here soon.
Red Bull's up 80 points. Mercedes is closer to Ferrari than Ferrari is to Red Bull.
I would start looking into if we can find some props on McLaren's driver next year alongside Lando Norris. That could be an interesting prop if we could get that.
Are they going to go straight to Pato O'Ward, or are they going to try to find somebody else?
I don't know. Gasly could be a name, I think. He's been decent. He was actually pretty good last week.
Our Haas guys?
Terrible.
They can't get out of Q3, and they can't get any points all of a
sudden.
Well,
now that guys have been making improvements, they're screwed. Like they can't keep up. So,
yeah, that's
unfortunately a bad thing. But yeah, guys are starting to separate themselves, and Charles Leclerc is unbelievably frustrated. So I would just take it easy on betting anybody besides Max Verstappen right now, unless you're going to try to hit the chaos race, which is probably coming. Not who knows, but I was just beware because these things happen if you watch these seasons. Like weird races happen, and we haven't had one yet.
What about? I'm trying to find the odds here real quick. Qualifying, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, Leclerc is still the favorite. I was hoping they would switch it because Leclerc just qualifies first every week. I was like, if they give him plus money, just keep betting him. But he's minus 150. Max is plus 250. Max hasn't qualified good this year.
Well,
he qualified the fourth like 2 or 3
I'm not sure
times.
He's like crazy motivated by it.
Oh, I bet he is. I mean, it's so much easier to start out front. Yeah. I think Ferrari's cars are just super fast, and Leclerc's good at qualifying, but Red Bull's strategy is better, and their race speed has been basically as good, except Ferrari keeps wrecking and blowing up. So,
yeah, it's a tough place to be betting wise right now, just based on how things are happening. I think kind of that
it was supposed to be more competitive this year, and it's just
right.
Not.
I think that combo of the qualifying and the win with Max is a decent bet because I understand you're kind of getting a little bit of help by Leclerc being so good at qualifying that. Verstappen's like kind of he's kind of like penciled in to like win every race that is coming up.
He just wins them all.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, hey, you might as well take that money and try to juice it up a little bit in hopes that Ferrari or they can kind of keep up or they get lucky with the track being a little more favorable. But unfortunately, we're just getting similar results every single weekend.
Finals? Did you watch the game last night?
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, I was texting you. I don't think. I think the Celtics are screwed if their offense is bad. Even if the Warriors' offense is bad, they can't win like the 100, like the game last night. I don't think they can win that game because the Warriors' offensive floor is so much higher than theirs.
Well, they just like the Warriors do less like dumb shit on both ends. The Celtics defense is obviously amazing, but like I don't know. I just trust the Warriors like 10 times more. I just wait. You get a Steph game like that, you have to win. You cannot like.
I'm starting.
They hit a couple big threes. Jaylen Brown made like 2 horrible turnovers, like at the worst possible time, and it was a wrap.
Yeah, I think both of us were on the Warriors from the get-go, but Draymond is like kind of becoming annoying to me to watch.
Between this series, between him and Smart and Grant Williams, like they got to be 3 of the dirtiest flopping bitches in the whole NBA. Like Williams is just constantly grabbing people. Like Williams is like so dirty. He's just grabbing people all the time, saying stupid shit. Smart flops all over the place, and Draymond is just like an irritant for no reason. He's an irritant because he's not very good. I think is part of the problem. He's like kind of not good, but I kind of think they're going to win Game 6.
Yeah, I would stay. I was just going to say that. I'll say if you are wanting to find action on this, I would stay away from betting the Celtics to win the finals. I think that this is I think this is over. I kind of thought it was over from the get-go, just with the experience that they have. And Steph has all the motivation in the world to win this. Like this is like such a proving moment for him. He doesn't, not that he needs to be proving, but it is a huge thing.
Yeah.
To get that finals MVP, just to show that he doesn't need anybody else's help, right? Like Clay is like worse than he's ever been, and Steph's going to win a title with him. Like that's crazy. So Draymond can't do anything offensively, like literally can't do anything. And he's about to win a title without him too offensively. So it's just, I think the motivation's there, and I would stay away from anything besides maybe like I don't even know what you would bet because you can't bet Steph MVP. I'm sure that's going to be crazy.
I assume the Celts are favored, I would guess, in Game 6.
Oh, if that's the case, then I would maybe bet the Warriors.
Don't you think? At home, do or die? Celts are -4. I would take the Warriors +4.
Oh, yeah. That's the bet then right there. I didn't even look at the line.
I can see how the game's going to go. It's going to be super tight the whole way. Celtics maybe get up a little bit, and it's just like I just trust Steph and Draymond and Clay to close it out when it matters.
Yeah. I like it. I think
we've seen the Celtics last 5 minutes offense enough now.
It's horrible.
It's terrible. And I think they have a coaching advantage. Ime's obviously, I think nothing against him. He's a good coach, but like nut crunch time, I trust Steve Kerr about 10 times more. So just simple.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Well, our cards will be out. Xander and Rum for the win this week.
I hope they're in the pairing. That would be unbelievable.
That would be great.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun week. It'll be a fun course to see on TV, especially with some of the unpredictability of some of these, some of the holes and some of the scores that come out of it. It'll be interesting to see how we do. But yeah, I'm excited. A lot of guys, we were interested in a lot of the same guys, so I think our cards will have a little bit of crossover, which will be nice.
Definitely. The viewing schedule is all over the place. It's on the Cock. It's on USA. It's everywhere. There's like 4 different.
Not on ESPN Plus.
No, this isn't PGA Tour. This is different.
Oh yeah, right.
It's like on Peacock from 6:30 to 9:30. Then it goes to USA. Then it goes to ABC or CBS, whatever it is, NBC. And then it goes back to USA. And it's like all over the fucking place. On Sundays, it's a little bit better, but like for tomorrow, it's like it goes back to the Cock at like 7:30 tomorrow night. It's like all over the place. So.
Oh, you have to like stream it on. Oh my God.
For parts of it, but it's on USA and NBC, I think, for most of the day.
Interesting. USA.
Yeah. So
US Open. Interesting. That's.
Good luck finding the golf.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it'll be on NBC, right? Is it NBC?
Yeah.
On Sunday. On Sunday.
It's on NBC every single day.
Yeah, 12 to 7, I think, is what I saw on Saturday and Sunday. So
11 to 6 Central, yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing. But. All right, that's it. Good luck and peace out.
See you.